What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got the man Cricket Raz once again, one of the best cricket channels on YouTube. So if you haven't checked him out, original link in the description. Go and show the man some love. He's got, just some amazing episodes over there. But hey, we've got the legal controversy, the courtroom battle that decided the fate of the Gujarat IPL team. Now, of course, we know they are the Gujarat Titans. I remember seeing this tweet last year, and there was a lot of big stuff going on last year when they were trying to decide team names, where they'd be based, all of that. So hey, we're gonna check this video out. I was about to do the outro. Let's get into it.
A simple tweet, a normal throwaway tweet that would have been ignored if it was not coming from a disgruntled employee who had run away to England to avoid courts. And if he wasn't attacking his past bosses through their golden goose in public court. What followed over the next 4 months amid accusations and denials ultimately led to a single fact. This is the story of that fact. 25th October 2021. Today, 2 new teams were to be added to the IPL after 11 years. More importantly, with the projected growth of the IPL and the manifold profits seen by the original 8 team owners, this prize was tantalizing enough that even the owners of Manchester United put forward a bid. Anybody who could afford it wanted a share of this pie. But it took a grand total of 5 minutes for all those hopes to disappear. The past owners of Pune Super Giants, the RPSG group, put forward a bid of 7,000 crores. That's 2,000 crores above the market estimate. In the obvious media storm that followed, in the explanations and observations, everybody seemed to miss out a single fact. A company called as CVC Capital had somehow managed to defeat the overwhelming favourites, Adani Group. They had won the rights for a team in Ahmedabad. Fate seemed ready to usher in a new chapter in IPL history, all of which lasted for 24 hours. Nearly on the dot, 24 hours. 26th October, 9:22 PM, Lalit Modi, the first commissioner of IPL, dropped a tweet. I guess betting companies can buy an IPL team. Must be a new rule. Apparently one qualified bidder also owns a big betting company. What next? Does BCCI not do their homework? What can anti-corruption do in this case?
Now, he's got some facts here, Lale. That is very true. Like, there should be no betting company or any owner of a gambling company that should be able to buy an IPL team. They could literally just script the league for themselves. They could make the worst IPL team in history, and then they could go on some betting website and say that, like they do markets or, odds for teams that'll finish on the bottom of the table. He could have created the worst team in history and then let them finish last. He could have put on so much money on them at the start of the season to finish down the bottom, and then they do. You can't allow that. So I do understand where he's coming from.
Now, at a glimpse, the problem seems obvious, right? If a company is directly involved in gambling, then goes to own a team, then they may affect the outcome of the match and earn money from the gambling.
Yeah.
But then you can also ask the question, how is it okay for a betting company like Dream 11 to actually sponsor the IPL? And all of this when betting of all kinds are completely illegal in India. Yeah. In short, Lalit Modi had kicked open a can of worms and BCCI was on the receiving end.
He really did.
Well, the receiving party on their side did not utter a single word. But they also did not give CVC Capital the letter of intent, something that had been given to the RPSG group the very next day. Then, in true BCCI fashion, an unnamed BCCI official made a statement.
Of course.
The formalities haven't yet been completed. The BCCI legal team is going through it and we are expecting them to revert us post-Diwali. We can only decide on a new IPL franchise when the legal team reverts to us. This pseudo-official acceptance of the issue opened the floodgates. The charge being led by Lalit Modi himself. Tweet after tweet after tweet, taking direct shots at the BCCI, inciting the government to take action. And all of this while CVC had already started approaching players. They started declaring their preparations for mega auctions, player strategies, and even coaches. And so, Lalit Modi on one side, CVC on the other, and BCCI caught in the crossfire. Still, BCCI didn't utter a peep till 1 week before the December 4 AGM meeting. When news broke, the BCCI inquiry was over and the CVC Capital issue was to be discussed in the AGM. And so turned the wheels. Come 4th December, media outlet CVC Group and even the third placed Adani Group were waiting with bated breaths for the results. The meeting started and ended with CVC Group not even being mentioned. Further news leak. BCCI was very happy with the explanation given by the CVC, but to avoid further controversy, they were starting an external probe headed by the retired Supreme Court Judge Justice K.S. Radhakrishnan. Any and all decisions regarding CVC would be taken only after the probe is done. Hence, all pending IPL procedures, from player signings to mega auctions, were to be put on hold. Thankfully, the probe itself didn't last for long. It took just 22 days for the result to come out. The result being, yes, CVC owns betting companies, and yes, they can still own a team in IPL. Confusing, isn't it? Let me explain. The
Wait a goddamn minute. Wait, do they actually own the Gujarat Titans now? Is this CVC Capital the actual company that owns the Titans? Bro, that's... Okay, that's a little bit sketchy to me. I ain't even going to lie.
Capital is a British
But they're
equity
going pretty
firm
well this
that
season, so
operates
maybe
under
not.
two distinct firms, Asian and European.
Okay.
Both of them independent and operating under different management.
What about Australia?
The European fund mostly operates in countries where betting is completely legal.
Yeah.
Furthermore, it's not a big deal if a betting company wants to own a sports team.
Okay.
Hence, CVC owns stakes in multiple rugby, F1 and football teams.
Okay.
That itself is not an issue there.
Okay.
All they
Okay,
have to
fair
do
enough.
is make sure that the betting company does not directly interfere with the sports team. Now compare this to the Asian countries where betting is mostly illegal. So, to avoid legal entanglements, the Asian fund of CVC doesn't own a single betting company. And because of
That's
the
good.
autonomous nature of its functioning, the Asian fund can be allowed to own a team without any conflict of interest. Now, those of you asking, how does any of this matter? Because at its base, isn't betting on cricket by itself illegal? Even if they own a betting company, they can't actually bet on matches, right?
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. Okay, let's get this straight. According to the Public Gambling Act of 1867, all forms of gambling are illegal in India. But there is one loophole. This law differentiates between games of
Yeah.
chance.
Now, if you guys know, we did react to a Dream 11 business case study, like, you know, whether it was a scam or not. If you guys want to see my reaction, it was a few days ago. I highly recommend checking it out after this one because I thought it was a great video that you're able to learn a lot from. So if you guys are interested, definitely check that one out.
And games of skill, whereas game of chances are completely banned from betting.
I like it.
Games of skill can be actually bet upon. Now here comes the twist. Cricket is not considered a game of skill,
Huh?
whereas horse racing is. Go
Wha-
figure. Now this is further complicated by the fact that individual states can allow exemptions to this rule. Hence, gambling is allowed in Goa and Sikkim.
Okay.
It's a whole lot of mess. Hence, just a few years back, it led to a huge legal argument, which ultimately boiled down to a single statement. Betting on cricket is illegal, but playing on Dream 11 like apps, that is playing a fantasy game by itself.
Make it make sense. It doesn't. It literally does make no sense. There's always these little loopholes that people in court and lawyers, they always find a way to get what they want. It'll always happen. And at the end of the day, it's always these people with the most money that get the best result, isn't it?
That has nothing to do with cricket. So even though you're betting on a cricket game's outcome,
Exactly.
that betting is a complete separate game
It makes
from
no
cricket
sense.
itself.
Literally.
So, although cricket is not a game of skill, this fantasy game on Dream 11 like sites is. So, it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, but it is not a duck.
Exactly.
So, this is where we are today.
Yep.
In the murky waters of legal grey areas. With CVC finally getting its team, the Gujarat Titans, Lalit Modi moving on to the next controversy, and IPL going forward as planned. But all of this still leaves behind a simple fact. Rather than treading on legal loopholes in a law made in colonial era, we need to change the gambling laws. Right now, the Indian betting market is about 15,000 crore strong, with a total of 37 crore people involved in it.
That's a
This
lot of
number keeps on increasing day by day
Yeah.
with more and more digital fantasy games entering the field. This comes down to a total of 3 lakh crore rupees that can be
That's
pushed
heaps,
from the
isn't it?
black market out into the open. That's not even counting how consumers can be protected from the malpractices rampant in the black
Bro, what
market.
cricket league?
It is a simple fact. No matter how much makeup you put on it, betting is betting is
True.
betting. And it's happening right out there in the open. now.
Yep.
So why not bring it under a legal umbrella? Why not put all of that money to use?
Okay.
Thank you for
Hey!
watching this video. I know this is a bit of a technical video. Frankly, there were so many technical nuances that I would have loved to explain here. But rather than making it into a lecture, I have compiled a list of all those sources down in the description.
Hey.
Anyways, till then, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.
Hey, shout out to the man Cricket Raz, a great video. And this is actually great timing to watch this video, considering I watched the Dream 11 reaction business study video the other day. So, you know, and what's to say here? The Indian fantasy sports industry is growing. 32% fantasy apps are currently in initial years due to apps being in the last government till now is collecting tax money from users. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree, you know, with the law of gambling at the end of the day is you are going to lose money. It's just a fact. Like, you are going to lose money. You might win some money. You're going to then lose it, and then you might win it back. You might lose all of it, and then somehow you win it back, and then you might lose, and then you get a big win. It's just pure bullshit. Let's be real. Do I gamble? Unfortunately, I do. And gee whiz, I've actually really stopped. I used to be big into it when I first turned 18, and I used to be betting on any sport possible, like cricket, you know, any sport in Australia. Goddamn, you know, local games being played in China on Halo Reach or something. Like, I used to gamble on anything, and it's just not sustainable. So I've really, you know, pulled back and stopped. You know, every now and then I might, like $1 or $2 or a couple of bucks on Dream 11 or whatever it may be, you know, but just always do it responsibly and do not gamble unless you can afford to lose it. If you can afford to lose it, then hell, go nuts, have fun. But if you can't and you are just hoping if you don't win, you're going to be out of money, you're going to be in a sticky situation for money, just don't do it. It's just not worth it. Just hold on to your coins because you'll need them. But hey, that will cap it off. Shout out to the man Cricket Raz. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.